There's something very wrong going on in our country right now. And I don't know, and I don't think government has the answer right now. And I don't know who has. My own answer is I guess working hard at the local level and trying to come up with answers at least locally. And one of the things that I'm involved in, because I just can't wait anymore, is meeting with other people in the city to talk about job development. What can we do to create jobs? Maybe there's nothing, but I don't want to sit around and wait to hear whether or not suddenly there are jobs out there. It's just not happening. My name is Joel Nitzberg. Last time I checked, I was 57 years old, which is a shock to me. I still think I'm 45 or maybe 50, but 57 is the age. I'm from New York City. I was going to be a carpenter, and then I got a job in the shelter workshop where I met my wife. And I was hired as a carpenter, but I got to appreciate working with people. So when we came up here, though, it was social services that I was looking for. My wife and I came up to Massachusetts in 1982, so almost 30 years later, we're Massachusetts residents in Somerville. I have worked on grants most of my work life, and so with grants, there's always termination. There's always an end. A repeated theme of working for people, helping people, but the locations have been very different. My last job was at the college level, where I initially was on faculty teaching undergraduate courses on community building, and ended up running a department on lifelong learning. 2 years I was laid off. I walked into work on October 18th, 2008, and my assistant told me that she had just been laid off, and I had no word of what was happening, and turned to me to say that, well, she thought that maybe I was laid off also. And I called HR, and lo and behold, I was also laid off, as well as 28 other people at the college. Again, no prior notice. So to find out that day that I was gone with no discussion, no preparation, no even exploring as to whether I might go for a part-time job or job share, it was just shocking to me. Grant money is not only drying up, but it's highly competitive. There are so many people, organizations going after the same pot of money that clearly organizations are suffering. My wife works, Adina, who is also a social worker. She just recently got a new job. She supervises staff who work on something called wraparound services. She had, prior to that, been working in a school as a social worker, and her money actually disappeared. And so in the summer, we suddenly had 2 people unemployed, and that was extremely frightening. 1 month without health insurance. One of the things that we experienced this summer when we were both unemployed, by not having health insurance, it really drove home to us our vulnerability, how fragile we were. And, we've never had high incomes, but still comfortable. We really got to see firsthand what it was like to have no cushion. With me being unemployed and even with benefits, our savings are gone. I'm about to tap into whatever retirement I have left. So I'm still on unemployment. I've got a couple more checks coming through. I'm one of those 99 group people, though, where the other night or last night, it was reported that we won't get the benefits. I treat every day as a job, looking for a job. Because I write well, I've been writing proposals for workplaces, mostly with no pro bono, with no money coming in to do this. But it gives me the ability to touch base with organizations. Occasionally, I will write in a job for me. I'm doing that now in a town where I've written myself in, but I have no clue whether the grant will come through. I do a lot of volunteering in Somerville. I write letters to the politicians in terms of not just my situation, but others. And then finally, for the past year, I've been working with a startup energy company. I had never thought of being in a business, starting a business, and now here I am. I am totally convinced that my age works against me. What sustains me through these times? Family, most importantly. My dog who wags her tail at me every day, there's nothing like a dog wagging a tail. Family, friends, repeating to myself, whether I believe it or not, that I'm optimistic something will happen. And again, keeping extremely busy, not only focusing on work, but also other things along that route that is so stressful. But on a day-to-day basis, I think for the most part, I do okay. Monday mornings are a little hard. I don't expect to be homeless. I mean, we've got enough family that will keep us solvent. Conversations with friends in my age group have shifted, so we start talking about, well, maybe we should set up some cooperative housing, and so we're starting to figure out, what do we do when we can't rely on things that we've been used to growing up? We in this democracy, we in this country that has apparently so much wealth, haven't figured out how to deal with this situation. And I've become much more cynical about government in ways that I have never been before. The fluidity of jobs, I think, in this period of time, where job skills change so dramatically, types of jobs, the rush of technology, I think has created a different landscape in some respect for my generation, for baby boomers. My parents were very, very keyed into what it meant to live frugally, what it meant to save, even though they didn't have retirement plans. What it meant to, I guess, to know that they had some level of security at their workplaces, and that their vision of comfort was not so much about consumption as about family, about simple living. And so I think my generation, I think we got very spoiled, and I think that we didn't grow up with scarcity like my parents' generation. And I think that's major. And I think that's what this next generation is going to be dealing with. That idea that there's scarcity, and I think it's a shocker from my kids, who's had relative comfort, and now they may not be able to anymore. So I think there's going to be a major shift because of the economy.